Hey, what's up guys and welcome to Anime King 2. And today I'm gonna be giving you part 66 of Uchiha Naruto the Sage. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also stay in tune for Naruto, the God of Shinobi. I am going to be posting a new episode of that. And also on my main channel tonight, Anime King. And if this is the first time you're hearing about Anime King, go ahead and check it out. And if you do enjoy the 500 lovely what ifs over there, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and be a part of the channel. So I'm going to be posting what if Naruto was trained to be a mercenary, and also what if Naruto wasn't a Sasuke. So stay in tune for all of the lovely what ifs coming your way. And remember, if you're new to Anime King 2 and this is the first time you're hearing my voice, what you waiting for guys? Go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join the Anime King family and be a part of the channel. And thank you for all of your support and help, and comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. So the last time we left off, Madara found Naruto at the Dragon Land and he then bind Naruto. Remember when Naruto was young and Madara told him that he will put his cell and Hashirama's cell in him. So, Madara's cell is inside of Naruto and Madara used it to control him. As Madara was pissed at Naruto because he couldn't summon the Gedo statue, Naruto hid it somewhere in one of his dimensions. Madara also took Naruto's eye as he tried to search for the Gedo statue, but he couldn't find it. As he then activated Susanoo and beat Naruto down. But it doesn't matter what he did, Naruto didn't give him an answer. In the end, Naruto escaped. Also, Yujito went to the Sound Village as she came to get what Naruto promised her, as he told her that he was going to give her something since he took away her Jinchuriki. And back at Konoha, Sasuke was thinking if Naruto was a real enemy, and then he was pulled in a dimension as he saw a man in front of him who told him that his name was Hashirama, the Sage of Six Paths. So yeah guys, that was basically the last where we left off. You guys can switch across the playlist and check it out for yourself. So let's start this new episode. Currently, Sasuke was looking at the Sage of Six Paths. What do you want with me? Sasuke asks. I came here to talk to you about Naruto. The sage responded calmly. You must be wondering what he's planning. Nevertheless, what he's doing, it isn't good. And Naruto will end up destroying Konoha. Why are you telling me that? Sasuke asks. Although I don't know exactly what he plans, but I know that he planned to become the god of this world. To do that, he wants to become immortal and have powers that will leave him without a rival. Tell me, if someone like Naruto possesses power that no one can test him, what do you think he will do with this world? He is easily bored, and for his own amusement, he may just start a war. As Sasuke lowered his head, if Naruto became the god of this world, Naruto loves when things go his way, and if he has power that no one can test him, he will certainly do things that will cause harm to this world and the village. You wish for me to stop him, but I can't. Naruto is far stronger than me, said Sasuke. Well, said Hashirama, Naruto is not unbeatable at the moment. He's vulnerable. That is why he locks himself inside of his palace. If you want to know what he's planning, you will have to defeat him now. Depending on the answer, you can allow him to live or kill him. That sounds fair, said Sasuke. The next day, Samui was currently walking through the dark halls of Naruto's palace. As she walked, as Naruto was resting by his throne, as his lone sharingan shined in the darkness, as he looked down at her. You are recovering well, said Samui. I thought it would take more time for you to recover. My body isn't something that you can understand, Samui, said Naruto. So it must be boring for you to be stuck here. I would have lost it already, being stuck in this boring place. It is indeed a little bit boring, but I still need to recover, said Naruto. Still, you're not going to show anyone yourself in this state. If words got out that you are weak, people from all over will come and try to kill you, and your village will be destroyed. I can still protect my country. However, any who try to attack me, in my current state, I will not show anyone any mercy. As Naruto's eyes gained a dangerous glint as he spoke, I have no doubt that you can protect your country. However, the safety of the Cloud Village is at risk. If A choose to fight you, I can't protect the village from you, or neither Killer B. Your loyalty to your village never ceased to amaze me, Naruto said. And what exactly did you come to see me for? Maybe I just came here to cheer you up and offer you some company, she said as she looked at Naruto. And also, what about the girl that you left back at Konoha? Said Samui. Why did you leave her back at the village? I left her there because she'll become a problem in my plans. She's way too nice and loyal to Konoha. She won't be able to stand and watch me when I have my way with that village. There may be some casualties and she wouldn't want that. And her choice. She would try to stop me, Naruto explained. Then you made the right choice, said Samui. As she then looked at Naruto. Would you kill her if she stands in your way? And also, this redemption that you're planning, she will hate you for it, said Samui. It wouldn't be a problem if she hate me. I have been hated by so many humans, so it doesn't matter if another hate me. Samui shook her head. Well, I guess you did the right thing by leaving her. Besides, you weren't going to do anything with her. She would just be at the Crystal Palace while you pull your strings from up here. Do anything with her? What does that supposed to mean? Naruto asked. Well, when you're focused on your goals, you don't look at anything else. Besides, I've been here for a while now, and you didn't even give me a second glance. That is the same that you would do with Uchiha. Would you have preferred if I taken advantage of you and do what I please with your body? Naruto asked as he looked directly at her. I wouldn't complain if you did. It is nothing I haven't dreamed about, she said, so casually as she looked at Naruto. I never knew that you hold such emotions, said Naruto. What emotions? She asked, looking back at Naruto. Naruto merely smiled at her. Nothing, he answered. Answer me this, she said. What do you want with Uchiha? You already have me. What do you want with her? Samui asked. I want nothing from her, Naruto responded calmly. She just seemed to be a sad little thing. A part of me wants to help her. Perhaps it's because she's your friend. And also, my heart. Tell me to help her out. Since when do you listen to your heart? Samui asked. But she didn't give Naruto the chance as she continued. Well, I guess it would be nice to have someone to talk to everything about. Are you that worried about her that you come all this way to see what I want with her? Naruto asked. Samui nodded slightly. I didn't want you involving her in your schemes. She's like a sister to me. Your love for her surprised me, Naruto said as he held out his right hand. As a puff and a sword appeared in his hand. It was light blue and the bottom of the hilt was dark blue. And two small black chains were attached to the sword hilt as Naruto handed the sword to Samui. Is this for Uchiha? She asked as Naruto nodded. I thought you weren't able to create it because you lost your left eye. I used most of Nanabe's power to create it. The Biju was willing to create it because I told her how miserable Uchiha was without her, so she decided to give her a farewell gift. This blade will give Uchiha the ability to manipulate blue flames, Naruto said. Anything else? Samui asked. It is sentimental. I was able to imprint a part of the Nibi's consciousness in the blade. It can only be used by Uchiha herself or anyone that she trusts. Samui nodded. Anything for me? I gave you a blade that made Uchiha's blade useless. What more do you want? Naruto asked her. You didn't explain what my blade can do, and I haven't had much time to use it. I thought that the only thing about it that it can cut through anything, she said. Naruto shook his head. I gave you a weapon that is powerful than any other weapon. The sword I gave you is not just any blade, it is my blade. I designed it special for me. It can cut through anything and it makes all form of ninjutsu useless. And it also enhances your manipulation over your basic elements. Why didn't you tell me this before? She asked. Naruto shrugged. I figured that you would figure it out soon enough. But the fact that you can't use its full capabilities mean that you will never will. Perhaps I should take it back. And what am I going to be left with? She asked. Nothing, said Naruto. Until you can tell me what you truly desire, you will depend on your own ability. This should be enough. You cannot give me something and take it back. Let me be with it, even though it isn't flashy as Yujito's blade, said Samui, hoping that Naruto would agree. He just nodded. So, is there anything else you want me to do? She asked. Go home. My messenger will come to you and give you a file of targets. He will explain everything in detail. You can take Yujito on this one, Naruto said, as he placed his hand on top of her head. As Samui looked at him curiously and didn't say anything, as Naruto smiled and she disappeared. As she arrived back at her home in the Cloud Village, as she walked to her room to see Yujito lying on her bed, as Yujito spun around, where have you been? Yujito asked. With Naruto, said Samui. Later that day, back at the Sound Village, Konan, one of Naruto's subordinates, went and got her, as Konan was now walking through the dark passage, as she saw Naruto sitting on his throne, as, to her, he looked like some kind of god, as she kneeled to him, as Naruto found it a bit amusing, as she got up. I thought that you weren't going to call me, she said. You seem to have been busy talking to Guren, said Naruto. We have some things to discuss, said Konan, as, right now, she and Naruto was in a giant stone in the sky that Naruto created for his own palace, as Guren is now in charge of the Crystal Palace. Do you have any idea what is going on down there? She asked Naruto. I know most things, however, I do stay away from personal matters. Everyone deserves some privacy and secret after all, said Naruto, as he didn't bother himself with everything, only things that was important. Why build a kingdom if you're not going to rule it? The kingdom is yours. But you allow Guren to do everything, Konan said. If she was the one to build a kingdom as this one, she wouldn't allow anyone to rule it for her. For now, I have no interest in doing anything directly. I am satisfied with the work that Guren is doing, and my current state isn't suitable to deal with small things, Naruto stated. So, eventually you will go down there and act as a true ruler, she asked. Naruto shook his head. That is unlikely. I don't know if it's possible for me to leave this place after everything is completed. However, I will spend a few years down there. As Konan didn't understand what he meant by he couldn't leave this place, but she didn't put too much thought to it though. So, have you thought about my request? She asked him. Why exactly do you want me to bring Nagato back? Naruto asked. Nagato never fully lived his fullest in this world. He was being used, well, all of us was. And you don't want peace in this world, but Nagato does. And if you defeat the real Madara, what will you do then? Someone needs to be here to bring true peace to this world, because you don't care about us humans. You refer to yourself as a god, said Konan, as Naruto just smirked. So, Nagato is indeed the child of prophecy. Child of prophecy? You know about that? Konan asked. As she remembered, it was something Jiraiya told them a long time ago. Do you believe in such things? She asked him. No, Naruto responded. As, before she could say anything else, another Naruto appeared on her right. Let's revive Nagato, shall we? The other Naruto ran through hand sign as he held his hand together. Rain Tensei, he said quietly. The King of Hell appeared from the floor as he opened his mouth. After a while, Nagato walked out. "Conan, come to me," said Naruto, as Conan wanted to go over to Nagato and hug him, but she went over to Naruto. As he placed a hand on her head, she then felt her body bulge as white substance covered her entire body, as she couldn't even make a noise as she was covered. Naruto then held out his hand as she was sent flying back as Nagato caught her. "What did you do to her?" Nagato asked. "Don't worry, she will be fine. I just shared some of my power with her. She needs this power to play her role," said Naruto. "My eyes," said Nagato. "Where are they?" "You don't have the Rinnegan because it was not yours in the first place. But you will get them back soon because you need the Rinnegan to be God to your people." "What is really going on?" Nagato asked, now confused. This was an unfamiliar place to him, and why would Naruto revive him since he was the one who killed him in the first place? "Conan will explain everything to you once she wakes up," Naruto said, as he snapped his fingers as both Conan and Nagato disappeared. "Now then," said Naruto, as he stood up from his throne. Two white cards were attached to his spine. "I should rest now," he said. Back in Konoha, Amy was currently sleeping on her bed as she slowly opened her eyes as her father was at the ramen stand. As she then sit up in her bed. "Hello, Amy," said a voice, as she was startled as she quickly spun around, as she didn't even hear her door open. "I mean no harm, so there is nothing to fear," the man said, as he was at her door. Just by looking at the man, she could say that he was a shinobi, as she knew that those people were dangerous and could lie through their teeth easily. "Who are you?" she asked as she looked around the room to look for an escape route. "Forgive me for intruding," the man said in a smooth tone, trying to calm her down. "My name is irrelevant. I am just a messenger for my majesty at the Sound Kingdom." As all tension disappeared inside of Amy's body, as she knew that meant one thing: Naruto. "Why didn't you just say so in the beginning? I nearly thought that something was going to happen to me," she said, letting go a sigh of relief. "Forgive my intrusion," the man said in a quiet tone. Amy nodded as she waved it off. "So, what exactly do you want?" she asked. "I was sent by His Majesty to fetch you. He said that he wished to keep the promise he made to you before he left. You said that you want to enjoy what his country has to offer, and the Majesty tell you that he would take you there one day. Unfortunately, he can't leave the country at this time. He would have come here to explain himself, but he can't right now," the messenger explained. "I've been busy lately, and I am not sure that I can leave father alone," Amy said. "Don't worry about that. Everything has been clear. I have already spoke to your father. In fact, I already talked to him a few days ago, and your temporary replacement is already to help him when you are gone." Amy nodded a smile. "I must speak to him first though. I can't just leave without saying goodbye." As the messenger nodded, "And you don't have to pack anything. Everything will be provided to you once you reach the capital," the messenger said, as Amy nodded. A few days later, Guren was currently standing up inside of the council chamber room that was created and well furnished, as there was a giant table in the middle and seats all around it. As she then looked to the door, as the door opened up, as Gaara, Mei, and Conan and Nagato walked in. The last to enter was Shinji, a man wearing a special envoy uniform. His hair was spiky black, and he had small black eyes, as he looked to be in his late 20s, as he walked calmly with his hands in his pockets. Everyone took their seats, and greeting was exchanged, as Mei was the first to speak. "Where is Naruto?" she asked with a small frown, as she really wanted to see him. Since the Cage Summit, she has not seen him or talked to him. He has been keeping his distance, and she started to think that he was avoiding her. "He is in his palace," Guren responded quietly, as she would prefer if Naruto would have joined this meeting. However, he did not say anything about it when she informed him about the coming meeting. Is he going to come down here? May asks. I don't know. I hardly see him myself. Gurren responded in a quiet tone. You should complain about this. He's the emperor. And he does act like one. He hides in his palace where no one can reach him and he dumps all the responsibility on you, May said. In a childish tone, as Gaara could only shake his head, as he too would have wished Naruto would be able to attend this meeting, but if it couldn't be helped, as he wasn't exactly told what he was brought here for. But Gurren said that his presence is required. Shall we begin this meeting? Nagato asked in a quiet tone, his eyes looking around at everyone, as he now had normal eyes, no longer possessing the Rinnegan. As May sighed, she's going to have a good talk with Gurren after this, as she wants to see Naruto. He was her fiancé, and he was avoiding her. As Gaara then spoke, may I ask something, he said, looking at Gurren. Why was I invited to join this meeting of the Sound Council? I understand why the Misa Cage was invited, because she is the Emperor, fiancé. I don't know, Gurren said with a shrug. I was only told to call you by His Majesty. The Majesty didn't explain himself, and I didn't question him, since I thought he has his reasons, as a throne was at the head of the table where Naruto was supposed to sit. As everyone heard his voice, I called you here because you're useful, Kazekage, said Naruto as everyone quickly turned around to see him sitting in his throne. As he rested his chin on his arm. As Naruto then looked around the room, I am glad you make it, Nagato, Konan, as a small smile was on his lips. As he then turned to me, you are now free to make your complaints, May. He seemed to have changed, May thought, as she smiled a bit. You want me to complain freely? May asked. Yes, you said you have complaints. If I did not hear right, you said I was neglected. My position as the emperor and hiding in my comfort zone, said Naruto. I will complain when we are alone. There are some things I only want you to hear. I see, he said. As he then turned to Konan. How are you adjusting? He asked her. I have adjusted well. But some things are still a bit troublesome, she replied. I would imagine so, said Naruto. After this meeting, you will have to stay behind for a day or two. I will put everything in your head. As, at the moment, Naruto couldn't leave the palace because his body was synchronized with the Gedo statue for its recovery. However, in a day or two, he will stop use the Gedo statue. As Naruto granted Konan power, he also gave her the Byakugan, as he will put her in the eternal Tsukuyomi, and in there he can control everything, where he will show her and teach her everything. Konan looked at Nagato for confirmation, before nodding. Naruto then turned as he looked at me, the amused look on his face. Does it bother you that I will be spending my time with the other woman, even though you, my fiancé, is neglected? As May just looked at him, as she knew that he find it amusing, she just nodded. As he then looked at Gurren and Konan, would it bother you too? He asked them, as the both of them nodded, and Naruto shook his head. Gurren, you have not been in a relationship before. Your opinion carry no weight. Besides from Shinji and Mei, the rest of you are still virgins. No. A thought then came to his head. Perhaps Konan might not be. She was in a relationship with Yaiko before he died. Did you not sleep with Yaiko, Konan? Naruto asked. As Konan started to blush slightly, while the looks on the other faces were priceless. As Gurren felt like he was truly exposed. The way he just said something like that in front of other people. As Mei just found it all amusing enough to burst out laughing. Shinji just cleared his throat. Your Majesty, I don't think that this is something appropriate to say, he said in a respectful tone. Emperor, Nagato stated firmly, perhaps we should begin with the meeting. As he didn't find the subject funny at all, it was just too uncomfortable to him, especially with Konan involved. I guess we should, said Naruto. As for right now, this country is known as the Imperial Kingdom, and Guren, you will be the Prime Minister. I will still hold my title as the Emperor, but you will still do all things as Prime Minister. I trust that you will carry out your duties as much effort as you have been. Conan, you will be the chair of the Imperial Council. This means that whenever there is a meeting, you will be in charge of it. You have watched Naruto long enough to be a leader on your own. Nagato, you are in charge of the Hidden Rain. Conan did well while you were away, but you must take back charge. Your other responsibility will be taking control of all military forces within your village, and also the military forces within this country. There are generals who command my armies. You will supervise them. Shinshi is one of the generals in the kingdom. He leads a special corps who are in charge of protecting this capital and doing other duties as well. Kazekage, you are given a special seat in this council. As the leader of the Sand Village, your input will be highly valuable to those around you. Me, what do you wish to do? Naruto asks, as all eyes turned on me. I want to be a part of the committee that create laws and govern the kingdom. I also have a feeling that the laws created right here would affect other countries. So I want to be a part of it. Acceptable, said Naruto. Shinshi, you will inform Nagato about the purge once you have time. My messenger will also send me and the Kazekage future details about the purge that is coming. That involves your respective countries. Any more questions before I dismiss you? Naruto asks. What of Karen? And also, what are you doing about our relationship with the Land of Snow? They are our biggest supplier of technological equipments. Most of the things that Karen has requested for the facility at Uzu is coming from the Land of Snow, said Guren. Karen is a child. Let her play around in Uzu. Do what you like with the princess, he said in a dismissive tone. As Guren sighed, alright, don't complain when I propose a marriage between you and the princess of the Land of Snow, and also a marriage between you and the Kazekage sister to make the alliance better, Guren said under her breath, but Mei heard her. Say what? Mei asked as she turned at the woman. Oh, nothing, Guren said as Gaara then spoke. I want to know something. What about the Bijus? As Nagato then looked at Naruto, as he was also interested in this topic. But guys, I'll be ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below and turn on that bell notification if they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also stay in tune for Naruto, the God of Shinobi. And on my main channel tonight, I'm going to be giving you what if Naruto was trained to be a mercenary. And also, what if Naruto was Natsuki. But now guys, I'm out of here. Peace.